please don't scroll past this video. I'm going to ask you to stick around here. This is a very important one. I do a lot of content on this here platform. Some of it is serious, some of it is irreverent, some of it is just me organizing my thoughts. This is one that I have been holding off on making because I wanted to get my thoughts completely organized before I presented this to you. To that end, I'm going to ask that if you stay, by the time you're done, I'd like to see a like. I'd like to see a comment because I do want to hear what you think. And I would like that you would share this because it is important. So here we go. I am not one for conspiracy theories, but this, I think we are all feeling. There is a glitch in the matrix, so to speak, like a splinter in your mind. You know something is wrong, but you can't quite figure out what. Something seems off, but it's like a smoke cloud, and you can see it, and it's real, but you can't quite explain it, and you can't get your arms around it, or it just disappears. And I'm here to tell you, for the last couple months, I have been trying to coalesce this in a way that I can understand it so that I can relay it to you. Because part of me wants to make sure that I'm not going crazy, and the other part of me wants to make sure that you understand I'm not going crazy. Pay attention, because this is a paradigm shift that's going to have to happen in your mind, or we're screwed. We are sunk, and I mean this sincerely. A lot of us have been operating on the idea that Donald Trump is throwing up smokescreens every so often to cover for other things that are going on in the government. We've been operating under the notion that all of these policies that he's doing that are super nefarious, the really bad ones, when we start looking at them too much, if we start to notice what's really going on, that's when one of these crazy stories comes out. He wants to rename the Gulf of Mexico. He wants to sell Teslas on the White House lawn. He wants to reopen Alcatraz. I'm guilty. I hear that craziness. I can't help but make a video about it, have some fun with it. I understand it, but it is a distraction. The mistake that I've been making, the splinter in my head that's telling me that it's wrong, is that I have been thinking that he's throwing out these stories every so often as a distraction right about the time we start to get a little bit of our arms around the smoke that is the real story that's going on. And then he throws one of these distraction stories out. It's too big to not want to go and grab the hook. And then we get distracted with it, and that other thing kind of loses steam as a story. And it just slides through. But the stories that he is spearheading, the really crazy ones, they're not the distraction. He's the distraction. This is a paradigm shift. I need you to get your head around this. The president is the distraction. He's a figurehead. He's a puppet. If you have a hard time getting your head around the fact that 9 out of 10 stories that come out of this White House seem crazy inside baseball, they seem like crazy inside baseball. They're very political, insidery type things that are going on. And then story number 10 is, let's rename the Gulf. The first 9 are not him. When he says, I don't know about that, and they say, how can you not know about that? It's your administration. This is your stuff. And he says, I'll have to get back to you. He's not lying. He doesn't know about them because he's not the architect. We have been saying for a long time, he is not smart enough for all this stuff. But that 10th story, that's the stuff that crazy old man came up with on his own. And they heard him talking about that, and they were like, That'll be a good distraction. That's Trump. That's Trump 101 right there. They'll totally eat that up. So they save those. Story number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We start to notice some stuff. People start asking hard questions. 7, 8. Now we're on the hunt. Now we're doing some exposés, but these stories, because they're so political, insidery type stuff, it's like an onion that you got to peel back a bunch of boring layers on to try and get to the crux of the matter. Why is it a problem that they are messing with IDEA funding? Why is this meme coin of his a big deal that somebody's buying some of his meme coin? Why is it a big deal that his kids open up a members only club in DC? Why is it a big deal that Pam Bondi's brother wants to run for some kind of a lawyer, group head? About the time we start asking the questions about those, you're on the trail for the really nefarious crap that they are architecting behind the scenes while they mollify him with golf trips. And at the end of that, when it's getting too much and we're getting too close, I'm going to reopen Alcatraz. The crazy comes back. Do you really think that the I'm going to open Alcatraz guy is the same one who figured out that if they mess with IDEA funding, that they're going to be able to strip mine education entirely and start to defund minority groups? They're not. They're not the same. This is a shadow government, and I am not a conspiracy theory person. These people know they cannot run this without him. He's the one who got elected. But they can get stuff done because he doesn't give a shit what they do. He only cares that his wallet is taken care of. He only cares that people still love him, that his followers still worship him. And as long as he keeps putting out crazy ass stories like, I'm going to hold a Tesla car sale on the front lawn, and they're all on board, he gets what he wants. Power, influence, adoration, and golf. We need to start identifying the people who are actually pulling the strings. And it's not Russia. It's inside the house people. It is groups like the Heritage Foundation. It's anybody that's involved with Project 2025. It's people like Steve Bannon and Elon Musk who are actually pulling the strings behind the scenes. These are the people who are the architects of the destruction of this government. They are tearing it apart brick by brick behind the scenes. And when you catch them stealing bricks, they send him out with one to throw at your head. So you stop looking at them and they can continue. Trump is not our problem. Our problem is the people behind him. And if we don't start exposing those people, we will lose this democracy. We will lose this country. And they will put in whatever figurehead they want to be able to run it in his place. He is fungible because he's the distraction. Once he's outlived his usefulness, they'll find a new distraction. Leave a like. I need your comments. I do need your comments. I need you to share this. People need to know what's going on. We have got to get on the right page. We need to fight the correct enemy. And we can't do that if we're still living in the Matrix. I hope this doesn't fall on deaf ears. And if there's enough response, I'll make another series of videos. We will go into this in depth and we'll start exposing it so you don't think I'm just whistling through the graveyard.